Hi everyone, I got this new flexible tripod and it works quite well, but it has a couple of issues. The first one I want to combat is these feet. They're just made of plastic instead of rubber. So when you put it on a surface, it slips around instead of being grippy and holding in place. And the way I want to combat that is with this silicone. This is a molding silicone, a two-part putty that you mix together and then put over whatever you want. I've used this before to make molds of different items, and I'm going to use it today to try and make these feet a lot more grippy. So all we need to do is get an equal part of each one and mix them together. But before I do that, I'm going to pull off the feet. Now where I pulled that off, you can see the wire inside. So this is how thick the wire is if anyone's interested, and that's what you're bending to get the tripod to stay in place. Now I've actually had this stuff for like 2 years and it's still okay, which is quite surprising. I guess because it doesn't really, do anything until you mix the two parts together. So I think that's about equal parts. Let's mix these together. In fact, probably need a little bit more of the purple one, but let's see. Yeah, definitely need more of the purple one. I'm not sure if this will be enough for all 3 legs or if I've made too much. We'll find out. So now I'll just take some of this and put it over one of the feet. In fact, that might be too much. I want to make it so it still looks kind of okay. It doesn't look like a hack job. And I do want to fold it over a little bit. Even if I have to cut that off later, it will at least help to make sure that it's a good, secure fit to the foot. Okay, that's number 1. We'll leave that there. Let's do the next one. If you have any ideas how else I could do this, I'd love to hear them. I did think about using hot melt glue, but then I thought, well, since I still have this stuff and haven't used it in so long, I might as well put it to use. And there you go. I'll just leave those to cure. Now the next problem I have is with this mount here. The bolt is too long, so when you put it into a camera, it doesn't secure in place, and I'll show you that now. Screw it into this camera. And you can see, even though that's super tight, this is still loose, which means when you put it on the tripod, it's not a secure connection. Now I could probably use some of this silicone just to make another layer on top of this, but I don't know how nice it would look. So I'm thinking what I'll do is rip off this thing that they put on there, and then I'll use this as a template on this cork board, and I'll put that there instead. So let's try that out. Okay, that looks okay. Let's make a hole in the middle, and let's see if it fits. I'll just cut off the excess. So let's try this on the camera now. Screw this in. Yeah, that's much better. See, it doesn't turn around now. So yeah, it may not look as pretty, but at least it works. Now one thing I've noticed is that this is actually trying to turn around. So I'll probably just glue this in place, put a little bit of glue in there so it holds it in place. But very simple fix, and I already had the cork board, so at least it doesn't cost me anything. So I'll pause the video and I'll come back once this silicone is cured. So everything's pretty much ready now. I probably should have used a much thinner layer of silicone on these because now they're kind of bulky. I mean, it's not too bad, but I probably could have made them a lot smaller and it would have maybe looked a bit better. Let's just put these in and show you how it looks. So it looks something like this. Let me zoom out. So there you go. Now it's a lot more grippy than before. You can see that it really does hold in place. So much better. But I do have to glue those on. So that's what I'm going to do with this glue stick here. So there we go. Now my tripod is much better because it's very grippy. Yes, it looks a little bit strange, but I don't think anyone would really think anything of it because these flexible tripods look a little bit weird as it is anyway. And here's the mount. I did glue the original white piece of rubber back on top. It's quite thick now. You can see the bolt's quite small, but you don't need that much thread anyway. And once you start screwing it in, it compresses this. So let's check this out. There we go, you can see that it has compressed quite tightly, and now let's put it on top of the tripod. That is much better. Now I've got a nice tight fit for the camera, it doesn't move around. Let's adjust the ball head, there we go, make this straight. And that pretty much sums it up. It's just a much better tripod now. It's grippy on the table, it's got a nice secure fit between the camera and the ball head here. Just basically usable compared to before. It's much better. Let's try and put it in a really weird position. There you go. Not exactly exciting, but just an example of a weird position. Let's try another one. Let's say you had to put it like that because there were some rocks or something. You could loosen this up, straighten up the camera head, tighten it up, and there you go. you know, it works. It's much better than before. It's still not one of my favorite tripods, but it's a lot more usable. So if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.